Hi, I'm going to do a quick demo of Graphene and specifically the myBinghamton portal platform as powered by Graphene. Now, Graphene is an open source framework for developing portals and other user experience platforms that was developed at Binghamton University, and we have rolled it out to considerable effect here at Binghamton University, specifically around our myBinghamton platform. So here I am, I'm looking at the myBinghamton homepage, and the first thing that you'll notice here is that everything on the myBinghamton homepage, and really everything in the myBinghamton platform generally, is specifically tailored to who I am as a person and who the person is that's currently logged in right now. So what you'll see right here is I've got my calendar of events that's showing up. That's pulling from my Google Calendar, my Binghamton Google Calendar. This is showing me that I'm actually signed up for a commencement event here because I'm actually impersonating a senior who might be attending a commencement. I've got my orientation checklist because I'm also simulating an incoming freshman or transfer student, and then additional information down here. I have got a search which allows me to look up directory information, photos of the day, and things like that. So this is a pretty generic homepage, something you might see at any number of universities. But the real power of the myBinghamton platform and the Graphene platform is that it allows us to build out really rich content. So I'm just going to show you a quick demo of how that works. So if I go here, I've got a tab here called Sandbox. And what we can see is I've got just a basic page set up with a couple items on the page. And from the most basic perspective, you can build out content in Graphene. You can build out content in myBinghamton pretty easily just by modifying some basic elements. So I'm just going to click Edit here. Let's change some of the text. So we'll say, we'll leave that up here. Say, hi, how are you today? And we'll save that. And instead of the duck here, actually we're going to move the duck over here. And let's change the duck to a different picture. Let's change it to the Binghamton University logo. There we go, save that. And if I press stop editing here, now you can see that we've got some slightly different content. We can add new content to it, go back into edit here, and I'm going to add some more content blocks. And we'll drag this one over to the middle, add another content block. So you can see how very quickly you could build out these pages full of rich content, although what I'm showing you right now is actually all just static content. So it's useful for building out things that really don't change a whole lot, but again, the real power of Graphene and myBinghamton is in this more dynamic content. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into this tab up here called Campus Life. And so in Campus Life, the first thing that we're going to see is a whole bunch of different widgets on the page that are directly tied into campus systems and campus resources. So over here, I've got the live bus view, and this is actually showing me currently there's only one shuttle running on campus, the ITC shuttle. It's telling me what the bus number is and how many minutes are until the next stop. This is pulling from a GPS feed from that particular bus. Similarly, over here, I've got all of the laundry facilities on campus, and we can actually pull up and look at each individual one of these, and we can see how many minutes are left on that particular cycle, the status of each one of those laundry machines. And so that's actually very useful for students who are trying to do laundry and want to know what the availability of the machines are. Similarly, here we've got a bucks balance. This is the Binghamton University declining balance that is used for purchasing anything from food on campus to 3D printing. Sodexo menus, this is showing all of the menus for all the different dining halls and what's available that particular day. Your print balance associated with your declining balance available to every student for printing. We have the rec stats here, which shows the availability of the gym at any point in time, so we can actually pull up some trends here, and it tells you the best times that you should work out or not work out based on this availability, and this is updated you can see every hour or so, and it was just updated 6 minutes ago. The pods availability, this is showing all of the availability of all the computers in all the computer labs around campus. So we can see before I walk out to a computer lab, I can see that maybe I should stay away from a particular lab because there are no computers available, or maybe there are a lot of computers available. So lots of rich functionality there. That's very helpful. I'm going to hop over here to another one, also under Campus Life, called Bing Swap. Now, Bing Swap is only available to faculty and staff at the university. So one thing that you'll notice here is when I'm using this stuff, we can actually specifically identify content on a per group basis or on a per individual basis, and we can say that, okay, for example, this Bing Swap application, you can see it's really only visible to staff and faculty. It's not available to students. So if students were to log into this, they would not see any of this information. But yeah, just generally here, we've got the Bing Swap, which allows faculty and staff, if they have excess furniture that they're trying to get rid of, rather than just throwing it in the dumpster somewhere, they can actually post it up here on Bing Swap, and they can arrange for other people to come pick it up and maybe swap it for something else, or just get rid of it. And what's neat about this is actually individuals like myself can go in, and I can actually list a new item, I can upload a photo, and I can post it as being available for people to use. So you'll notice as I'm showing these things, we started with something very simple like just putting a duck on a page, and we're now actually getting into some fairly complicated applications. Again, they're all built out inside of this Graphene myBinghamton framework. So that was Bing Swap. We were just at My Campus Life. I'm going to hop in another one here, so we're going to go into academic services, and I'm going to pop into faculty reporting. So faculty reporting is an application platform that allows faculty every year to provide mandatory reporting back about any accomplishments they've had throughout the year, recognitions, things like that. And so faculty can actually log in. Again, if I pop up here into this little thing, you'll see that this is not available to students. This is just available to faculty, and it's not available to staff either. So it's really just a faculty-only application. But faculty can go into here. They can say, okay, I had some publications. They can enter new publications. Let's say I wrote a book. It's published. And we'll say, here's my citation, publication date, and no, this is not TAE related, save that off. And so this is all actually sent off to the provost's office, and faculty, this information is available to the provost's office to review and look at faculty throughout the entire previous year. So this is another application that's again built out inside of myBinghamton, built out inside of the Graphene Framework, and fully available for faculty to use. One last thing that I'm going to hit on is if I go back to that main page, you'll notice that before here I had this thing that says you are successfully signed up for commencement. But you'll notice that these things are actually fully interactive. So the way that this shows up normally for students is if you're a graduating senior, meaning that you have over, I believe, 90-something credits, you can either petition to walk in commencement, maybe if you're not actually going to graduate or meet all your degree requirements this semester, or if you are going to actually graduate, you can fill out this form here, and you can say, okay, what school you're associated with, what degree you're receiving, and then it automatically indicates what ceremonies you should be attending, and you can provide additional information about disability accommodations or American Sign Language accommodations, veteran status, things like that. So this is actually a very powerful platform, and because of this, things like commencement, which normally would have taken a lot more time to set up and configure, to get all this information back from students, all of the information is collected right here inside of the myBinghamton platform, and it happens automatically and without a whole lot of effort. This information is also available if I were to pop into this commencement administration form. You can actually see all of the students who have filled out the commencement form, what their status is, if any of them have petitioned to walk or things like that. So it's a fully interactive platform that faculty and staff and students can all use to manage their own workloads and to kind of interact with their status at the university right inside of this framework. So I've showed a lot about what it looks like from the user perspective, but generally, unless it's really easy to build out these applications that I'm showing you from an administrative perspective or from a developer perspective, this really isn't all that useful. So I'm going to go up here into this gear, and I'm going to click Control Panel. And first, what we'll see here, we'll notice that there's actually a whole bunch of groups And these groups, I've actually got 92 different groups on here. And these groups identify all of the different populations that are identified at Binghamton University. And so these are different populations that we can target content at, that we can put content in front of. And so you can see the significant level of granularity that we're able to drill down into when we're identifying who people are. So this is not a one-size-fits-all platform. This is something that is very specific to who those populations are. So everybody who logs in gets a very different user experience. But then most importantly here, if I pop down into these things called micro applications are what allows all of this really, really complicated functionality to be built out inside of myBinghamton. All of those applications that I was showing you, like the fit space availability, like the faculty reporting, like the Bing swap system. So these are all built out inside of this particular platform. So let me look up one that we were looking at before, the campus. Here we go, the live bus view. So I'm going to click on this one here. And what we'll see immediately as soon as we pop in is that there's actually, the way that these micro applications function is by pulling data from external third-party APIs. And so we've got identified here, this is the Binghamton Public ETA Spot API, and we've got 3 different APIs, one for all the stops that the buses go to, one for all the routes that the buses have, and then one for all of the actual vehicles themselves. And so we actually go into here and we do a little bit of coding that merges those APIs together, those different feeds together, and then we have a singular template here, which is actually a mustache template, which draws all of this stuff on the screen. So again, if I pop out into click view here, what we'll see is we'll go to live bus view. What we can actually see is that this is all of the code that's associated with building out this entire application was right there. Let's look at a more complicated one. Let's go back to micro applications and let's look at that faculty reporting one. So the faculty reporting, let's see, academic services, faculty reporting. And you'll notice that this one's actually pulling from many, many more APIs. These are actually pulling from Binghamton University's primary RESTful API server. And it's pulling all of this information and allowing information about what that faculty previously entered, and then also pushing out information about any updates that the faculty might make. But similarly, we've got scripts. Obviously, this is a little bit more complicated, so we've got individual scripts for each one of the forms that a faculty member can fill out, and mostly, if I look at these things, they're really actually primarily just the definition of what the form is that's associated with that. And then over here we have our templates, and again we have templates associated with each screen that the faculty member has. But the very nice thing about this is that all of the code and all of the environment that staff are being used, or ITS staff are using to develop this framework out, is all actually inside of the myBinghamton platform. We haven't left the platform, we haven't opened up a different development environment, we haven't had to go in and use version control and other things like that. It's actually all built out inside of the myBinghamton platform itself. So from a development perspective, from a change management perspective, from a ability to rapidly iterate on these things and develop things very, very quickly, this platform, the Graphene platform and the myBinghamton framework, allows us to very, very quickly develop a whole bunch of rich functionality all inside of this environment without having to have a huge learning curve associated with these things. And so if I pop back out here and I remove my filters on this stuff, what we can see is we've actually have, and I'm not even looking at all the groups, I'm probably looking at maybe a dozen or so groups, but even in just a dozen or so groups we have 92 applications built out. Throughout the entire framework itself we probably have over 500 applications. So this is a very powerful framework. It's very easy to develop in, and it allows developers to very quickly push out the kinds of applications that I was just showing during the demo previously here. And so we literally have dozens and dozens, hundreds of these groups and applications that are available to students and faculty and staff depending on who they are and what their role is at the university. So that's really just a quick demo. And if you have any questions, you can contact us. My name is Tim Cortesi at the Binghamton University ITS Innovations team, and my email address is tcortesi@binghamton.edu. Thanks for watching.